We really need to discuss the undeserving hatred of the Dallas Cowboys. I've been analyzing sports for a while now, and let me tell you, I'm perplexed by the narrative surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. They put up 12 regular season wins last year, handled their business in a playoff game, and then yes, they suffered a narrow defeat on the road against a dynamite 49ers squad. But let's be real, judging from the backlash, you'd think the Dallas Cowboys went 0 for 16 last year. I mean, really, calling for Mike McCarthy's head was deafening. Some even suggest it's time to rethink the Dak era. Cowboys fans are understandably frustrated, but let's not exaggerate here. Everything's bigger in Texas, sure, and apparently so is the impatience. Now, I get the sticking points. The boys haven't danced in the Super Bowl spotlight since '95, and while they haven't gone beyond the divisional round since those glory days, under Dak's leadership, they've secured a solid 61-36 record. Here's the hard pill. They've been great, but someone else has always been just a tad greater. A 12-win season and a playoff victory isn't enough for the beloved fan base of America's team. And now, McCarthy's in the crosshairs. Let's not forget, this guy has a winning percentage of .614. That bests the legends of Bill Parcells and Tom Landry. But of course, every success in Green Bay. Oh, that was just Rodgers. With Kellen Moore gone and McCarthy taking on play calling, he's painted himself into a corner. Any hiccup, and guess who's on the chopping block? But here's the thing. If you want to blame someone, McCarthy's making sure there's no one else in the room. And that, my friends, takes guts. Dak Prescott, undoubtedly one of the league's elite quarterbacks, led the NFL last season with 15 picks in just 12 games. And yes, 2 more of those came in the heartbreaker against the 49ers. Now, with McCarthy dialing back with his old school approach, the idea is this will curb Prescott's interception numbers. But let's be honest, it might also curb those jaw-dropping yards, those thrilling touchdowns, and overall the Cowboys scoring might dip. And by the way they've been playing, that hasn't exactly led them to the NFC Championship, now has it? Now with this shift, the spotlight's even brighter on McCarthy, as if the guy wasn't already sweating under the Texas sun, and Dak, the weight on his shoulders won't get any lighter. Being the quarterback for America's team isn't just a role, it's an institution, a mantle, and yeah, there's a heck of a lot of pressure that comes with it. Now, the Cowboys, they've been top tier the past 2 years and this offseason. Pretty darn productive. When you've got blue chip studs like CeeDee Lamb catching bombs and Micah Parsons dominating on the defense, you know they're bound for big things. But let's get one thing straight. A rerun of last season, that's not going to cut it. Dallas needs more than just good. They need monumental. They need legendary. Otherwise, those sweeping changes the fans have been hollering for, don't actually be surprised if they come to fruition. The offseason was pretty entertaining for the Cowboys, so let's unpack it. First and foremost, Dallas made some savvy trades that shouldn't be overlooked. Swapping a 5th-round pick for Stephon Gilmore from the Colts, that's some grade A wheeling and dealing. Gilmore is not snatching another NFL Defensive Player of the Year award anytime soon, but imagine him locking down receivers opposite of Trayvon Diggs. And then trading for Brandon Cooks, a receiver with a proven track record of 1,000-yard seasons. That's an injection of talent right there. Sure, the cap space was tight, and while they managed to bring back Donovan Wilson and Leighton Vander Esch, seeing Connor McGovern and Dalton Schultz depart stings a bit. The draft, solid, not spectacular. Mozzie Smith and Luke Schumacher look set to fill crucial groups, but it was gut-wrenching to hear about DeMarvion Overshawn's injury in the preseason. Tearing his ACL, that's not great. Yet, when you take a step back and look at it in total, solid move, solid offseason for the Dallas Cowboys. Let me also briefly discuss why I truly believe the Dallas Cowboys are sitting on a Super Bowl talented roster. Well, they have the Defensive Player of the Year on their team. Before we dive into what Micah Parsons is cooking up for the NFL this upcoming season, here's a little insider tip for all of you. If you're feeling as confident about his chances of winning Defensive Player of the Year as I am, head over to BetUS. And if you sign up using our link in the description, they're not just matching your deposit, they're going all out, gifting you a whopping 125% on top. That's like turning Micah Parsons' sack into a pick 6. That is pure value. We love it. Now, speaking of value, over at BetUS, they've pegged Parsons to clinch the NFL Defensive Player of the Year with odds sitting pretty at plus 550. I mean, after a stellar follow-up to his rookie year, recording 13.5 sacks and leading the NFL with 106 pressures is pretty ridiculous. He was so close to setting the single-season sack record he's been gunning for, and with the momentum he's carrying, don't bet against him. And while Dallas's defense under the masterful guidance of coordinator Dan Quinn has been dazzling, finishing second in Football Outsiders DVOA in back-to-back seasons, there's no doubt in my mind Parsons is the linchpin of their success. Now let's briefly discuss Dakota Rain Prescott. The narrative around Prescott last season is confusing to say the least. Yeah, he led in interceptions, there was a dip in his stats, but can we please stop with the replace Dak noise? Pro Football Focus isn't just tossing darts here. They had him pegged as the second best quarterback in standard accuracy. Let's not forget he ranked number 1 in avoiding those iffy throws that are technically catchable. Turnover-worthy plays tied for 13th, so his interception numbers, more bad luck than bad play. The chatter suggesting Dallas should look beyond Dak is honestly stupid. This is a guy stepping into his prime, surrounded by an arsenal of receiving weapons. McCarthy's conservative playbook might not make him the stats king this season, but I'd wager my money that Dak bounces back strong and he looks like a top 10 quarterback lock. Now, only 7 running backs have finished their careers boasting an average of 5 yards a pop on their carries. And guess what? 5 of those 7 are chilling in Canton right now, enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Here's where things get interesting. Tony Pollard is clocking in with a career average of 5.1 yards per touch. These aren't fluke numbers. This is sheer efficiency. It's no wonder there's been an outcry for him to eclipse Ezekiel Elliott in touches. Fast forward, Zeke's gone, he's pounding the ground in New England now, and what did the Cowboys do about a number 2 back to share the load? Almost zilch. This sets the stage for Pollard to be the workhorse back, a role he's unfamiliar with. Let's not forget, his career high was a mere 12.1 carries per game last season. Only 3 times has he carried the ball more than 15 times in a game. It's like seeing a sports car that's never been taken above 60 miles per hour. Now factor in Mike McCarthy's newly professed desire to run the damn ball. With no Zeke and no proven backup, that's the game plan. Hand the keys to Pollard and let him drive. Mike McCarthy wants to revolutionize football by scoring fewer points. But hold on a minute, because beneath the chuckles, there's some genuine logic at play. If trimming the sails on passing attempts translates to a more efficient Dak Prescott and simultaneously boosts the defense, then isn't that the kind of complementary football we champion? It's not like the Cowboys are starting from scratch here. A 24-10 record over the last 2 seasons, a defense that terrifies offenses. The ingredients are all here, people. Prescott has to lead them to glory. Yes, he hasn't yet, but can we take a moment to appreciate the trajectory? With everything Dallas is bringing to the table, is it a stretch to envision them taking the NFC East crown? Still, it's been 28 long years since Dallas mounted a serious playoff campaign, but there's something about this team this year. There's something that feels different. Why is it that the Dallas Cowboys seem like the squad everyone's overlooking? From my vantage point, this is arguably the most well-rounded roster that they've put on the field in 30 years. I'll put it out there. 2023 feels like the year. If there's any moment in the foreseeable future where the stars align for Dallas to clinch another Super Bowl, it's now. But I want to toss this to the fans. Where's your faith at? Do you stand by Dak McCarthy? Are you feeling as bullish as I am about this defense being top tier? Because let's be clear, for a franchise as storied as the Cowboys, it's Super Bowl or bust. Where do you stand? Like, comment, subscribe.